Hi, I'm Morgan Turner, Health Education Assistant at the Human Development Institute and Special Olympics athlete and athlete ambassador. This series, titled Morgan's Musings, is dedicated to learning about disability, health, advocacy, and leadership from all different types of people. We will talk with disability self-advocates, caregivers, and parents, and people that work with individuals with disabilities. We hope this series of interviews help teach you to become a leader and a self-advocate in your own unique way. Hi, I'm Morgan, here today interviewing my very good friend, Vanessa Sweet. Thanks for inviting us to your house and letting us interview you.
Absolutely, I'm excited.
Let's get started.
Okay.
What is your job and what can you tell us about it?
Well, my job is a fitness trainer. So I'm very lucky that I get to help people be a better version of themselves every day. So I help them with exercise and give them good nutrition advice. Probably my favorite part of being a fitness trainer is just being with the groups of people and training people one-on-one. Yes. I've been in the fitness industry for 30 years now.
Wow. What brought you to the field of health and exercise?
Well, I can tell you, I began that journey a long, long time ago. When I was in the 3rd grade, I became a cheerleader. I made the cheerleading squad. And I knew at that moment that I wanted to be in the health and fitness industry. So, started a long time ago. This is where I am today.
Awesome. What does self-advocacy mean to you?
Well, when we advocate for something, I look at that as just something that you believe in passionately and wholeheartedly. And you want to project that to other people. You want to set a good example. You can't force somebody to believe in exactly what you believe in, but it's how you project yourself onto that person or those people and how they see the sincereness in you and setting a good example.
Right. And why do you think it's important?
It's very important. It's important to be yourself, but it's also important for people to see or to be able to kind of feel the passion that comes out of that person when you are projecting that. You want them to feel comfortable with you, but that you want them to be able to sense how sincere the person is.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with someone with a disability?
You know the answer to that, Morgan.
Yes.
But over my 30 years in the fitness industry, yes, I have worked with people with disabilities many times over, many.
And what accommodations were needed?
You know, that's an interesting question because it's different with each individual, depending on what the disability is or the ailment or what's happening that day. I think one of the most important things is to not make that person feel like that they're different or that they're standing out. I mean, I've trained you for years and you're in a group atmosphere with me a lot. You do what everybody else does. And we might have to modify a little bit on some stuff, right? But you get the same workout as the person next to you does. And so that is what I try to do and to portray anytime that I am working with somebody with a disability.
Yeah, I think it's important too to let them know that even though you're modifying something differently, you're still getting the same exercise as everybody else. Absolutely.
You said that very well. That's exactly what I want.
What's the hardest part about being a personal trainer?
Well, I'll answer that in 2 parts. One is you have to be good at what you do, and the other part is that you have to be good at motivating people. Yes. And sometimes that can be very difficult because each person has their own personality, and what motivates you might not be very motivational to somebody else. Right. And so it is trying to understand the person, to keep them motivated, because it's very easy to get out of the habit of exercising, or life happens and that you want it, but I want to be able to keep that person wanting to come back for more. And so I would say that's probably the hardest part, just keeping people motivated.
Yes. How do you cope with stress?
How do I cope with stress? Well, I breathe a lot. Breathe. And honestly, I'm not making fun of that because I feel like we make everything too difficult.
Yes.
And so when you feel, so say somebody's sitting at their desk, you're sitting at your desk and it's 3 o'clock on a Friday, you're ready to get out, you got so much on your mind, and it just you keep getting more tense and tense. And if people would literally just stop and breathe. And when I mean that, it's kind of like my yoga breathing. So you're going to breathe in through your nose, you're going to exhale through your nose, and you're going to breathe very, very slowly. And every time you exhale, you let your body release tension somewhere. I know that seems too simple, but it is. It really is that simple. There's several ways that I would cope with stress, but I would say breathing and releasing and letting your mind relax is something that I practice all the time.
I think a lot of people need to do that. It seems like a lot of people cope with stress by freaking out about it, worrying too much about it, and really all they need to do is just breathe.
You know what? And a lot of times it is the quote is, don't sweat the small stuff. So many times the stress that we put ourselves in and under is just small stuff.
Yes.
You know? So.
Who has had a tremendous impact on you as being a health trainer?
You know, I've thought about that over the years, and there really hasn't been one particular person. And if I'm going to choose one, I'm going to go back to my childhood years and my high school years. I started doing, now I'm dating myself, okay, but I used to do aerobics with my mom. That's how I started teaching, or really wanting that drive to teach fitness, was going to exercise with my mom. So at an early age, and both of my parents were young and healthy and fit, and so I learned that lifestyle from them. But over the years, there have been quite a few people that have helped me along the way, I feel like, given me good advice, people that have mentored me, that is now helping me to be a mentor to other people. So, you know, if I had to answer it, I'll say my mama, but it's been several people along the way.
I feel like maybe your students or the people that keep coming back here for classes too, because you're doing something right. They keep coming back. And
you know what? That is a very good way to say that. I must be doing something right because they come back, you know, and that is what you want as a fitness trainer. And it's so rewarding. I mean, the job itself is just so rewarding because when people come into my studio, it's already a positive thing. They're coming here because they want to better themselves.
Yes.
And so as I see people reach certain goals, or, you know, get into the size that they want to get into, or feel better about themselves and feel better in their skin, that is the most rewarding thing ever, ever, ever. And so it's pretty cool to have my job.
What do you think makes a good leader?
Somebody that leads by example. Okay, I cannot expect you to get down and give me 20 push-ups when I tell you to, and you do, by the way. Very good at push-ups. You have perfect form when you do push-ups. But I'm not going to tell you to do that, and I'm not able to do that. That might not be the greatest example, but it is to lead by example.
And I think you're also a leader because, like I said before, you lead your class and all these exercises, and you're motivating them to do better.
Exactly. Exactly.
As a professional in the health field, what do you think is the biggest obstacle for people to stay healthy?
I would say belief in themselves and the willpower just to stay on track. You know, and that's hard. It's hard for people to do. I think when people are involved in a type of training session where they meet with a trainer or something, that makes it a little easier because very few people can do it on their own. They need support. They need somebody pushing them in a loving way, but pushing them to be better and pushing them to make better choices and that type of stuff. So I would say just people believing in themselves and just having the willpower just to keep coming, keep going, and keep pressing.
Like someone to motivate them.
Absolutely. Yes, you're right.
Thanks for coming, Vanessa. Thank you for letting us interview you.
You are welcome. It was a lot of fun. It's always fun talking to my buddy. You coming to work out in the morning?
Nope. I'm just kidding, yes.
Yes, I think he'll be here. Go Cats.
Thank y'all for watching. We hope you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more interviews like this on Morgan's Musings.